The day I nullified my marriage is today. I am the one daughter-in-law that had a crazy son-lusting mother-in-law that hated her from day one, and told her so. Okay, many daughter-in-laws here are riddled with that. I am the one that has been married for a week. Today is the day I have nulled the wedding. No need for divorce under 6 months in the country that I live in. I tried. I really tried. His mother tried everything to get me away from her son, and she finally succeeded. Her son had a spine like jelly. If she told him to kill me, he would do it. On to the last straw that brought me to this decision. I have a very crazy allergy against latex. I react really badly to it. We found out when I was a little toddler and I was treated in the hospital, and went into shock after a nurse just touched me. Since then, I have a little sticker on my driver's license and I wear an allergy necklace. I can literally die from sniffing a glove. Ex-mother-in-law knew this. Ex-dear husband told her. Last week, after I got home from work, I was angry with ex-husband. I can't remember why, everything is really fuzzy now, I cannot remember too well. However, I went into bed early. I just bought this bed a month ago. Because I refused to sleep in the old one. Because ex-mother-in-law slept in there the first night after our wedding. I spent my wedding night on the couch. When I laid into bed, it felt really comfy. But I could feel a small layer of plastic under my mattress. I assumed that this was normal. Since it is a new bed, I might have missed some plastic cover on the mattress. I didn't think about it much, and went to sleep. I woke up 17 hours later in the hospital. Ex-mother-in-law cut up 75 latex gloves to create a little layer under my duvet cover. I do not remember, but when ex-dear husband went to bed several hours later, he found me white as a ghost, and sweating, and barely breathing. You know why I knew it was mother-in-law? Because she called me to brag about it, while in the hospital. She told ex-dear husband that she was afraid I would wet the bed, since I acted so childish. Remember, I am a 27-year-old woman. Instead of going full NC, said he was sorry about my behavior. He was sorry. I was in the hospital for a week. Ex visited me once, to make me apologize to his mother, which I did not. I got security, and told everyone he is not allowed to be back in my room. I don't freaking know what happened. I don't. He was not like that. We were together for 5 years. We were not naive kids. It is like I married a man that I have never met before. I am still shaking with anger, and disappointment. And I am pissed at myself. How could I have married such an excuse for a man? How can I still freaking love him? After everything he has done to me? Married at the 25th of January. Nulled the marriage at the 20th of February. I will try to calm down. Maybe I can tell you about all the other crap she has done to me. I still have no name, and I cannot think of another one than Lucifer. Thank you for reading. Mother-in-law attempted to have my daughter call my brother-in-law daddy. My mother-in-law is a lunatic who believes I should have ended up with my brother-in-law. Rundown. Brother-in-law and I were friends in high school. Brother-in-law got a crush on me. I didn't reciprocate. He took it badly. In college, I started dating his older brother who also attended that college. I feel some blame can fall on me here because I knew how brother-in-law felt and I ended up with his older brother. But that's just how it goes at times. I didn't intend for it to happen. Brother-in-law told mother-in-law a very different story than what the truth was. Outings with me and my group of friends in high school were one-on-one dates according to brother-in-law. We were highly sexual, according to brother-in-law. Basically, he told her we were the one true pairing of the world, and we'd be together forever. It didn't work out that way. Mother-in-law accused me of a lot of things when I started dating my now husband, and eventually had to step back because of how many people backed my version of events up. Shockingly, the truth has witnesses. Years passed. Brother-in-law has always made me, and dear husband, feel uncomfortable, and so we don't see him that much. We see mother-in-law twice a month at most, so she has supervised playtime with the kids. She even once asked dear husband if he'd be open to sharing me with brother-in-law at one point. It was a rough few years. Last visit with mother-in-law ends up coinciding with brother-in-law being there. We push on with formalities, and dear husband steps out for a smoke, leaving me to supervise dear son and dear daughter while mother-in-law plays with them on the floor. Dear son is old enough to call brother-in-law uncle brother-in-law. Dear daughter is still going through her first words. I get up for a few moments to leave the teacups in the kitchen and I get back to see her holding dear daughter up to brother-in-law, and saying, "Say hi to daddy. Say hi to daddy." He was playing along, and making faces at her. The only reaction I had was to grab the kids, and leave while they protested. I explained why we were rushing out to dear husband in the car, and he was really upset. He called mother-in-law to find out what the hell she was up to, and she just got very defensive about me not hearing correctly. Dear husband lied, and said he'd heard it as well, and she stuttered that she was just letting the children know the truth. Their daddy was brother-in-law. Dear husband was being stupid by not realizing I was cheating on him. and being taken in by my charms so I could bag both brothers. We're putting them both on a timeout, and mother-in-law is not happy that her twice-monthly grandma visits are cancelled for the next 4 months. I see nicknames are a thing here. I feel I'll be posting a bit about this lunatic and I'm not very imaginative, so if anyone wants to give her one, I'm all ears. Edit. Thank you all for the advice. I need to take a step back, and reevaluate things, and speak to my husband. I welcome all further advice on the matter, but I do really need to gather my thoughts, and assess the situation. Update. Mother-in-law fell into the trap she set for me. Updating one more time. The situation with my mother-in-law is escalating so fast I can't even believe it, but at least now she might receive what she deserves. The night after I wrote the previous post, I had a very tiresome shift. Family fights, drunk people in bars, and on streets. We had to chase a speeding car throughout the whole city, and the driver then decided to run away. We had to pursue him on foot. So when I finally got home at about 7 a.m. the next morning, I was so exhausted I knocked out as soon as I reached my bed. I put my phone on silent mode because no one should bother me when I get my few hours of sleep after night shifts. The next day I didn't have a shift, so there was no reason for anyone from my work to call me. I wasn't worried about that. However, around noon I woke up to several missed calls from the police station I work at. I called back and I was told to arrive immediately due to an emergency. I didn't think much of it at first, because it happens sometimes. If something extraordinary has occurred, the police station mobilizes as many officers as they can. Not often, but it happens, so I didn't think for a moment it could be something about me. But when I got there, I found out that in the morning, while I was sound asleep, a woman had come to report a kidnapping. She claimed that an officer who works at this police station, aka me, has kidnapped her son, and is keeping him captive in his home. I knew instantly it was mother-in-law, but this time I was like, it's not funny anymore. There are minor offenses, and then there are offenses that could potentially ruin your career. She was accusing me of a felony, which, if proven, not only would get me fired, and disqualify me from ever being a police officer again, but also charge me very seriously, up to life imprisonment. Even though I knew I'm not guilty, I got really scared, I'll be honest, because I didn't know what else mother-in-law has prepared, maybe some fake evidence or something. She was promised it'll be investigated, and she had been like, what is there to investigate? Just fire him already. The captain called me to his office, and asked me to explain to him what's going on because he doesn't know what to think when there's this woman accusing one of his officers of something so serious. And well, my country is about 50-50 liberal, there are nice people, but there are also enough of people who think like mother-in-law. It was a horrible moment for me. I'm in the closet and I so didn't want to come out. But I had no other choice. If I refused to speak, it would make him suspicious. So I told the truth, that this woman is my mother-in-law. The man that she's talking about is my boyfriend, we're a couple, and mother-in-law doesn't like it. So she's making up various lies to separate us. I also told about the hospital joke she pulled days ago. The captain was understanding, but he said he needs to check the information I gave him, which I totally understand. You cannot just blindly believe someone. Police officers commit crimes too. His order was to arrange a meeting between me, my boyfriend, and mother-in-law to see who's lying, and who's not. I had to calm down my boyfriend before that. He was so mad he was ready to strangle mother-in-law then, and there. When we entered the room, mother-in-law was already there, and she acted as if he actually had been kidnapped. She ran up to him, and hugged him while crying. My boyfriend pushed her away, and told her to never touch him again. He confirmed my words, that he has never been kidnapped, that he's with me because he wants to be with me, and he's living in my house willingly. Mother-in-law wasn't having that. Of course, she did everything she could to fool the captain, crying, inventing things that have never happened, and words that I have never said to her, but eventually ended up tangled in her own lies. She said I have been keeping my boyfriend in captivity for 4 years, and the captain was like, so you mean your son was kidnapped for 4 years, and you decided to file a report only now? Doesn't make sense, ma'am. She said I have intimidated him, and that's why he's now saying he's with me willingly, that he wasn't so cold with her before, that I have ruined him, that I had threatened her. At that point her bullcrap didn't even sound credible. She hadn't thought it through. She was just saying whatever came into her mind. I could clearly see that the captain doesn't believe her at all, and I think mother-in-law realized it too. So when the captain told her that she's wasting police's time, and advised her to get over her prejudices about gay people, she decided to take a more personal approach, and asked the captain if he has children. I know he does have children, he has 2 daughters, but he seemed annoyed, and told her that her question is totally inappropriate right now, and has nothing to do with this situation. She insisted that he should side with her on this because as a police officer he should do this, and he should do that. and react like this, and say that it was clear to everyone that there has been no kidnapping, and she basically made a false report, and aggravated the situation by starting to tutor the captain how he should work. He might have gone easier on her. But you don't teach someone who has been in service for almost 20 years how to do his job. Her plan to get me in trouble ended with her getting arrested, and now she's the one who's facing charges for filing a false police report. And what makes it even worse is that she falsely accused not just a civilian, but a police officer. When mother-in-law realized that the tables have been turned against her, and that very soon she'll find out what a jail cell looks like from the inside, she looked terrified. I bet she didn't calculate how far can she go with this without having to face the consequences. She probably thought that even if she's discovered, the officers will just shake their finger at her, and be like, that was not a nice thing to do, don't do it again. The legal system doesn't work like that. And the funny thing is that until the trial she could be released for a bail, but my boyfriend categorically refused to pay anything. We could technically afford it, but he was like, no way, let her sit there, and think about what she's doing to her son. So unless she gets someone else to pay her bail, which I highly doubt because it's not a small amount of money, all the time until her trial she'll have to spend in jail. And when she heard that we're not going to pay her bail, she got mad as hell. The trial will take place next week, I will have to be there, my boyfriend will have to be there. Trials are not a pleasant thing to be part of, and I don't know now what her punishment will be. It could be anything from paying a fine till imprisonment up to 10 years. I'll let you know how this goes. But I just hope that maybe now she'll finally realize that karma is a bitch. Everything in this life has a boomerang effect. What you do to other people will eventually get back to you. If this doesn't open her eyes, then I don't know what will. Also, I hope things calm down at my police station. The captain promised me he won't tell anyone anything about my sexuality, but when she came to make that report, she referred to me as the Nancy boy cop, and the rumors spread like wildfire. So I feel like everyone here has their doubts now. People realize that no one has ever seen me with a woman, and probably think that she might be right. No one is saying anything to my face, but I think my fellow officers think they found out something about me they didn't know before. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more stories delivered to you. Thanks for listening. See you later.